Okay, so we're going to get started today. Today's lesson is on least common multiples. Multiples are, all they are is numbers that you're counting by. Okay, all they are is numbers you're counting by. So if you're counting by sixes, you would say 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and so forth. You can go as high as you'd like, but today we're probably, for the most part, only going to have to go as high as 10 numbers. All right, so if you are, Dathan, if you are on top of your game with your math facts, today is going to be a piece of cake for you. So how do we find the least common multiple? Least means lowest or less. So this girl, she's going to buy some fish fillets. She's also going to buy some buns for the soccer team. How many fish pieces come in a box? Can you tell? 6. How many buns come in a package? Okay, so if I buy one of each, am I going to have perfectly enough? No, I'll have some extra buns, right? So the question is, what's the least number of fish fillets and buns she can buy so she has exactly the same amount? She won't have any fish left over, she won't have any buns left over. So what information do we need? Well, we need to know exactly how many fish are in each box and how many buns are in each package, because they are different. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find common multiples of both. If I count by 6, who can help me with that? Darius. Okay, let's start with 6. 6. No. After 24 is not 36. And the reason you know is because you're cheating. He's not cheating. Are you, Darius? 5 6s are 30. 42. 8 6s. 9 6s. 54. And 10 6s. Okay. Who can help me with 8s? I would appreciate if you didn't look behind you. I want to know if you can count by 8s. I know that today many of you will use my walls, and that's okay. But I'm just curious who knows how to count by some of these numbers. Sarah, can you count by 8s for me?
8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48,
7 8s is
56,
8 8s.
64, and then 8.
No, 9 8s. You forgot 9 8s.
72.
And finally, 10 8s. Yes. Okay, so if we make our list of numbers just like we did here in class, this is what we're going to see. We're going to see a list. But what we want to do now is we want to compare those two lists and see what is, well, first of all, what are the numbers that they both have in common? Emma, what's one of them? Yep, they both have 24. Anything else they have in common, Dathan? They do. But our job today is to pick the least common multiple. So out of those two, which one is the least?
24.
So we would need to buy 24 pieces of fish fillets and 24 buns. How many packages are we going to need to get 24? 4 fish fillets. How many packages of buns? That's right. That's right. So that is what our job is today, is to come up with least common multiples. So the first few examples are easy examples because they do most of the work for us. If you want the least common multiple for 2 and 4, here's our 2's. Well, of course, they should have went all the way up to 20. Here's 4's. Of course, they should have went all the way up to 40. But do you already see a number that they both have in common? What is it? 4 and 8. That's right. Out of those that they have in common, and there's more, which one is the least common multiple, Will? 4. So 4 is the least common multiple. 4 is the least common multiple, the number they both have in common. 3's and 4's. Again, they did the work for you. As we do this today, This work isn't going to be here. You're going to have to do it, or at least do it in your head. Oh, let's see. Kaden, you want to help me out? What's the least common multiple that both of these have in common? 12. That's right. That's right. 12 will work. Is there going to be something larger as we go farther? Well, can you think of one? I can. What'd you say? 24. They'd both have 24 in their list. What else might they have both in their list? 48 they'd both have in their... Oh, hold it. Yep, 48. Yep. 36 they'd both have in their list. But our job today is to find the lowest one that they both have in common. The lowest one. So once you've found one... Once you've found one, the lowest one possible, you can be done with the problem. You don't have to go on and on and on. Okay, let's see. I think we're going to try one together. I think I'll go down this way. Who wants to give me the threes? I want 10 of them. America? 6, Yep. And 10 of them is... All right, great, good list. Who wants to do the sevens for me? Do not look at the walls. I only want you to do it in your head. How many can do sevens? Aaron? 7, Okay, we're going to stop here just because I already see one that they have in common. Do you? What is it? It is. This is our least common multiple. 21. They both have 21 in common. Aaron, have a great weekend. Okay. All right, I'd like you to grab your iPad. And I would like you to... Oh, we're going to come back to that one. I would like you to start with this example. Make your list. I don't care which of these numbers you start with. Make your list. Once you find one in common, you can stop. Emma? 30. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and so forth. Now, I can look right off the bat and notice which one is a multiple of 5, because 5s can only end in 0 or 5. So it's got to be this one right here. How many of you, honestly, are able to simply look at those two numbers and be able to tell? That's great. If you can today, I'm okay with that. If you can consistently get them right. Did you just poke yourself in the eye? That was funny. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at your misfortune. Yep, let's go back. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Anytime you think to yourself, there's nothing. I got nothing. There's no way possible. You can always multiply them together, and it's going to work. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be the least. Okay, for example, let me give you an example that... Okay, here's an example. You can multiply them together and get 18, but that's not the answer. There's something lower than that. Let's try this one. Everybody try this one. If you can do it in your head, that's great. Kiara? 3. Well, if I count by 6s, I'm never going to hit 3. I'm going to give you another chance. What must it be then? If I count by 3s, I'll hit 12. If I count by 6s, I'll hit 12. You're right, but there's even something lower than that. Alexis? It is. It is. Check it out. It's the first number I put here. It's the second number I put here. It was that fast. Now, 18, of course, would have worked. That would have been a common multiple, one they both have in common, but it's not the least common. Let's go to this one. Aaron P. 14 is correct. There's nothing lower than 14. Well, there's only one other number lower than 14 here. And we know that 7 won't be down here because it's an odd number. How about this one? Multiples of 10 have to end in a what? In a 0. When you count by 9s, do you ever hit a number that ends in a 0? You do eventually. Alan? It is. 90's it. 90 is it. Let's try this one. I'm going to give you a little bit more time. Some of you, you know right off the bat. Some of you need a little more time to make your list. I notice some of you are doing 2 or 3 on the top, then 2 or 3 on the bottom. Compare them. Is there anything in common? Okay, I'll do a few more on the top, then a few more on the bottom. That's fine until you find one that's in common. Aiden. Okay, Aiden thinks the least common multiple of 6 and 8 is 24. Does anybody agree with him? He's correct. Good work, Aiden. Okay, are you guys ready for a trickier one? This is one you will have to write out. Let me go back to... You can all count by 8s, right? Well, 15s isn't so hard. I'm going to give you a little hint and tell you it's a bigger number than what you think. It's pretty big. It's going to take a little time. Make your list. Of course, everybody's going to start with 8s. So far, is there anything that's going to work for 15s? Okay, 15. 15, 30, help me out here. 45, 60, 75. That's 90. No. Mm-hmm. Oops. Let's stop there and see if, okay. Oh, 8 more than 88 is 96. 8 more than that is 104. Oh, still nothing. 8 more than that is 112. 8 more than that is...
120.
There it is. That took some work. Did anybody take 15 times 8? What'd you get? Oh, go figure. So you knew that was going to work, but there was nothing smaller than that that would work. I said it was a big number, so that was a pretty much a dead giveaway, wasn't it? All right. So let's explain. Well, first of all, we have math yoga to do.